So in a trending market, as I'm sure most of you already know, it will consist of higher lows and higher highs. But where should you enter, and how do you know that price is not going to retrace or reverse? How do you know that we're not going to pull a move like this? Or how do you know that price isn't going to reverse? When we see the higher lows, what does price look like? Really, we want to see accumulation at these levels to kind of prove that price is in fact going to continue in the direction of the trend. So first, we need to look at how a trend starts. Normally, we have a level of consolidation, so something like this, where we'll see an obvious range forming. Then you want to see manipulation. Then after the manipulation, you want to see reaccumulation, all using the easy in, easy out pattern. And then this generally is what the start of a trend will look like. So then we continue up from here. And now I don't normally promote or tell anyone that they should try to get in at the reaccumulation or even at the manipulation. I suggest that you wait for the retrace and the confirmation of a trend. Now, what would that look like? We would get a move back into support. Now, instead of just leaving your limits here at the support level and hoping that price is going to continue up, what I do personally using my strategy is I wait for another reaccumulation to occur at the support level. Here you have the consolidation, the manipulation, the reaccumulation, the expansion away, and then you want to see further signs of reaccumulation. Now, you don't just want to see reaccumulation at resistance. So let's say the previous trend started around this level. You don't want to see signs of accumulation here and enter here, because what is a common rule that most of you should know is that you shouldn't necessarily be buying into resistance or selling into support. So if you were to look for the broken base pattern or signs of reaccumulation here, you're just buying into resistance. What you want to do is look for a retracement back into the previous levels of accumulation. And then this is kind of how you will be able to pick up if price is actually trending hard. You'll see retracements back into the levels of accumulation and price will just reaccumulate, basically telling you that there is demand at these levels. Because breaking down every single price action strategy, all we are really doing is trading support, resistance, supply, and demand. Is there demand at a level? How can you tell if there is demand at a level? Personally, I use this strategy, but other people may use indicators or moving averages or whatever it is, where you can then look to buy. So I gave an example of what the start of a trend should look like, but we may see moves like this, where we see the higher high being made and we go to look for the lower low, but instead of forming a lower low and continuing up, we fall back below this low. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the trend is changing and that we're seeing reversal. It may just mean that we need to manipulate the market in order for the bigger players to enter more positions. So how do we know that price is either going to test the level, reaccumulate, and form a lower low, or is price going to break below the previous low and reaccumulate? Well, you need to look at the previous leg. So if you look here, you'll see that there's accumulation at the previous leg right here. So it makes sense that if we are in a trending market, we would reaccumulate at the previous accumulation. But if we take a look at this example, if we go and look at this whole leg up here, where's the accumulation? There is none. There's nothing but equal lows below here. So it's no surprise that we came down and we swept these levels before, you guessed it, reaccumulating in here. If the previous leg doesn't hold any obvious accumulation, then you should assume that price can and should move below that previous leg. Now, if we move below the previous leg and start to reaccumulate, that's a sign that the move was in fact manipulation. But if we fail to reaccumulate, then we're heading lower.